The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. Picture this. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's supposed to be the ultimate vacation. Sun, beaches, a luxury villa.
A celebration of African glamour, right, bringing together all these huge reality stars.
Exactly. But then the tone just shifts. A woman, known as the Diamond, walks into a room full of stars. She's expecting a party.
And instead, she gets a psychological war zone.
A war zone. The insults were flying, the cameras were rolling, and Christall Kay was, as the headlines put it, being eaten alive on international television.
And that's not just hyperbole. It was brutal to watch. This wasn't just reality TV drama. It sparked a huge conversation about bullying, ethics, and production.
It really did. Welcome to StarScope Report. Today, we're not just recapping a fight. We are analyzing a full-blown phenomenon.
And we're going to connect the dots behind the headlines.
Our mission today is to unpack the story that completely took over social media. We're talking about the treatment of Christall Kay, the massive backlash against the cast, and, why the internet just decided that enough was enough.
This is such a fascinating case study. It really makes you ask, where is the line between good TV and, well, genuine cruelty?
Let's jump right in. The setup. This show, The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Africa, or RHUGTA, it was a huge deal.
Oh, massive. Think of it like the Avengers of African reality TV. You had stars from South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, all on neutral ground in Brazil.
But neutral ground definitely did not mean a neutral atmosphere.
Not even close.
Before we get to the chaos, let's talk about the power dynamics. Where did Christall Kay fit into this whole hierarchy?
Okay, so that's the key. Christall is an OG from the Real Housewives of Johannesburg. She's a lawyer, a singer, she has this diamond brand, she's a big deal.
So she walks in with status, but she also walked in late. And in the world of housewives, that's like a cardinal sin.
Exactly. And that small detail might have been the catalyst for everything. She was the last to arrive at the villa. The group had already started to bond, alliances were forming.
So she was the outsider from the jump.
Completely. And Christall says she felt it immediately. She described the bullying that followed as formulaic. That's a very specific word.
Formulaic. It implies a plan. Do we think this was actually premeditated?
That's her theory, and it kind of holds water. She believes the newer cast members studied her past seasons. They saw she was a headline grabber and figured the quickest way to get screen time was to target her.
It's the screen time economy. You fight the biggest star, you become the main character. It's Machiavellian, but it makes sense.
Right. Christall called it sheep behavior. Her idea is that once one person started to isolate her, everyone else just fell in line to avoid becoming the next target.
And that mentality just exploded over a single phrase. This is the first big moment we have to talk about. The "you people" incident.
Oh, this was the flashpoint. Christall used the phrase "you people" when addressing the group, and the Nigerian and Kenyan cast members especially reacted with just intense outrage.
They framed it as derogatory, culturally offensive.
But Christall's defense was that the whole thing was manufactured. She said, "I use that phrase all the time. I meant you all look great." She seemed genuinely stunned.
But to play devil's advocate, if someone says a phrase is hurtful to their culture, isn't the move just to apologize? Why did she dig in her heels?
I think she felt she was being set up, gaslit. The group rallied against her so fast it felt like they were just waiting for a reason to pounce. It let them take the moral high ground.
It really felt like a witch hunt. Just watching it was uncomfortable. But if you think a linguistic misunderstanding was bad, just wait until we get to the voodoo doll that sent the entire villa into a panic.
But before that, we have to talk about the other weapon they used against her. It wasn't just her words, it was her money.
Ugh, this part got so ugly. We're talking financial shaming. One of the cast members, Angel and Layla, just screams across a dinner table that Christall had lost her house.
And this is where the reality gets very real. Christall has been open about her struggles. She lost her fortune, her mansion. She had to rebuild.
To have that screamed at you at dinner, though, it was heartbreaking. And for the record, she's not destitute. She's rebuilt her life. She lives in a beautiful apartment.
It just felt so below the belt. The artist Lady Do called it emotional violence. And I think that's the perfect term for it.
Emotional violence.
Yeah.
It starts being entertainment when you're just trying to destroy someone's dignity over their bank account. It felt like punching down.
Definitely. And the audience really picked up on that. It just felt cruel.
It soured the whole thing. And if you're loving these deep dives into the drama, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even more coming, especially about how the internet fought back.
It gets much, much stranger before it gets better.
So Christall's feeling low. She's being attacked for her words, for her finances. She decides to go shopping, try to do something lighthearted.
The infamous shopping trip. This is where it all goes off the rails.
She's in a curio shop in Rio. She sees a local doll. She buys it. She names it Lisa. Seems innocent, right?
Wrong. The cast completely spirals. Angel starts screaming that Christall bought a tokolosha.
Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, explain what a tokolosha is.
In Southern African folklore, it's a malevolent spirit. It's associated with witchcraft, with causing harm. So by calling this Brazilian souvenir a tokolosha, they were essentially accusing her of bringing actual evil into the house.
Which is just wild. They're in Brazil. Christall's take on it is just, she's like, I poked a doll with my sunglasses as a joke. I'm a Christian. I don't do voodoo.
It's a perfect example of fear-mongering. They were building this narrative. She's not just rude, she's not just poor, now she's dangerous. It justified excluding her.
The hysteria is just palpable. But Christall, being Christall, delivered the line of the season. She just looked at the camera and said,
Guess what? I'm bringing Lisa to the reunion.
Laughs. You have to admire it. She took their weapon and turned it into her prop.
But notice the pattern. Everything she did was twisted into a reason to hate her. It's an impossible situation.
It really was a pile-on. And if you are hooked on this Brazilian drama, hit that subscribe button. We're tracking the reunion fallout next.
So she's isolated, shamed, and now accused of witchcraft. What happens next is, well, it's rare in this universe.
She left. Christall Kay packed her bags after just a few episodes. She said she had to protect her mental peace.
And that's a big deal. You don't just walk off these shows. The contracts are ironclad. Her leaving proved to the audience that this wasn't just clever editing, it was genuinely toxic.
But here's the twist. The cast thought they'd won. They thought they'd run her out of town. But the internet decided to turn the tables.
Oh, the hashtag Justice for Christall started trending almost immediately.
It completely backfired on them. Instead of ruining her, the bullying made her a sympathetic martyr.
A huge wave of support came out. Liz Prinz, another housewife, called the footage disturbing and said, women bullying women is not entertainment.
It even went beyond reality TV. Activist Zuleika Patel called the whole display a symptom of societal decay. I mean, that's heavy.
It really shows you how much audience standards have evolved. We love drama, but we hate cruelty. And the ultimate irony, which a fan pointed out, is that the bullies just gave Christall free global marketing.
Yes, they made her the main character of the whole season. But what about the people behind the camera? Where was production in all this?
That is the big ethical question. The production companies, Showmax and RHUGT Productions, they faced a ton of backlash over their duty of care.
Duty of care. What does that mean in this context?
It's their obligation to protect the talent's well-being, and it seems like they just let it happen for the sake of good TV. But it alienated their audience. The show is called Ultimate Girls Trip. It should be about sisterhood.
Instead, they delivered trauma.
Exactly. But Christall is leaning into it. She's reminding everyone why they call her the diamond.
Polished under pressure.
Yep. Despite everything, she says she has a strong center. And this isn't even her first time being targeted like this. She refuses to break.
And she got a really surprising ally out of all of this, didn't she?
That was maybe the most fascinating part. Madame Avodia, who used to be her biggest enemy, was the only one who defended her. It shows a real evolution.
So, to recap this whole roller coaster, Christall goes to Brazil, faces this formulaic bullying over her finances, her words, even a souvenir doll. She leaves early for her own sanity.
And walks away with the entire internet on her side, while the so-called mean girls are facing a massive PR crisis.
The classic underdog story.
It is, but it leaves us with a really provocative thought.
Go for it.
The audience has drawn a line. We're rejecting this kind of overt cruelty, but are we part of the problem? We clicked, we tweeted, we drove the ratings up because it was so toxic. So does this backlash mark the end of the mean girl era of reality TV? Or will production companies keep planting these seeds because, let's be honest, we're all still talking about it?
That is the million-dollar question. Are we hate-watching or are we actually demanding change? Something to think about.
Indeed.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.
Stay curious.